That's what I'm talking about. We are gonna have some fun today. You guys excited? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, the love, the love. So, we're gonna have some fun here today. I'm gonna get into it today, and I'm gonna teach you guys a couple of things. I'm gonna share with you guys why I'm here. I've been flown here to help you to overcome your fears, to unlock unstoppable confidence, and to transform you into fearless, 10 times bolder prospecting, closing, and recruiting machines so that your prospects start selling themselves to you. Because that's how it should be, right? That's how it should be. Look at what you have. Look at the opportunity that you have to present to somebody. They should be selling themselves to you, shouldn't they? Say yes if you agree. Beautiful. So I want to start out with a short story to what I discovered to be the secret of success. When I first got started in network marketing, I was a 21-year-old broke college student. All my friends told me no. Even my own mother called me an idiot. But I decided to make a bold move and get started and make myself a commitment to be successful in that business anyway. Who here has gotten friends, family, neighbors, other people telling you that you're an idiot or you shouldn't do it or you're wasting your time? Go ahead. Say yes if that's you.
Sí.
I feel sorry for those people. I feel sorry for those people who doubted you because you're going to have the last laugh. In your big ass house with your awesome cars and your amazing relationships, you're going to have it all.
La casa figa, la macchina figa, relazioni figa, avrete tutto.
Claim it. Claim it. When I was first getting started and I got all of those no's, I knew that I wanted to prove those haters wrong. I knew that I wanted to be successful. So what I did was I called up someone who was a lot more successful than me. This man was a mentor of mine because the first 100 people told me no in a row. It was months before I even got my first sale. And I remember being at an event that was about this size, and the speaker in front of the room said, "Stand up here if you'll commit to selling 5 people a month for the next 12 months, because if you did, you'd win a trip and you'd get a car bonus." And he said, "Stand up here if you're committed to doing that, and we'll make that happen." That's what this person said on stage, a mentor. Everyone in the room stood up except for me because I didn't believe that I had what it took to be able to sell 5 people a month for 12 months. Because I hadn't even sold 5 people, and it had already been several months. So that's where I was. I was terrible talking to people, getting no's from everyone I spoke to. I had very little confidence. And so what I said to this mentor is I said, I need to learn how to talk to people because I was so scared to prospect people. I said, if I move to the city where you live, because he had a beach house on the weekends, would you just let me watch you talk to people so that I could just learn how to prospect and build my business from total strangers? And so he said yes, and I made the bold decision to move to a city where I knew absolutely no one, and all I did for years was just read personal development books, just listen to audios, and watch him prospect and go out there every single day, talking to 10, 20 people every single day for years. So what ended up happening because of that is I learned everything about people, how they react, what to say, and I read so many different books in that time that I went out there and I went from being a 21-year-old broke college kid to making my first $1 million by 29, to being a #1 recruiter in a company that had close to 500,000 people in 26 different countries.
I just add one thing. 21, 29, so it's 8 years, almost
8 years. 9. Yeah. What Giorgio's going to smash within the next 12 months. At, what, 23?
Yeah, almost.
Almost 23?
Yeah.
Almost 22. Give it up for this guy. Your leader. Your leader. I discovered a lot of things, and I'm going to share with you a lot of secrets and a lot of formulas and a lot of really cool stuff. But the #1 thing that I want you to know is that the biggest secret to success that I discovered is that in the book, Think and Grow Rich, it says there are 3 enemies of success: fear, indecision, and doubt. And the best way to overcome these 3 enemies of success is to, anytime you feel fear, indecision, or doubt, you just ask yourself one question. And that question is, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? And if you just ask yourself that question, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? And in whatever moment that you come up with, whatever idea you come up with in that moment, whatever it is, you just do it. And what will happen is, every single time you don't do that thing, you grab a little rubber wristband on your wrist, you pull back, and what will happen is your brain will link pain to you not being bold. And then after enough painful snaps, your brain will rewire itself, and it will start doing the bolder thing more often, and that will become your new default programming. And what will end up happening is, every time that you do that, every time you go for it, and to be bold, it might mean going up to that person that you're scared to prospect. And you think that, oh, they're not going to be interested, they're too old, or they're too young, or, they're not going to believe this from me. Anytime you get any of those thoughts, you just go, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? And then as soon as you come up with the idea, you just do it. Because if you think about it, everything that you're happy about, excited about, or grateful for came as a result of a bolder moment, did it not? Even the fact that you're here, you said yes to joining this business. You said yes to coming to this event. Are you guys excited about that decision? So that's why it makes sense to have more bolder moments. I'm going to teach you the skills, and you're going to get amazing skills training from me and some of the other trainers here like Daniel and other people. But if you don't have that bolder mindset, it doesn't matter, because if you freeze up when you're supposed to take action, if you don't call that person because they're on your chicken list and you're afraid of them, if you don't take those bolder actions, you're never going to become a top earner in your company. I'm just going to tell you. But if you just are the boldest person in the room at all times, you can outperform even the people who are better than you. Who here is committed to living a life like you are 10 times bolder? That sounded cool, though. That sounded cool. Okay, so that's the secret to success. Be 10 times bolder. Now let me talk to you guys about the rest. If you combine being 10 times bolder with the reverse recruiting method and the cold market prospecting formula, you guys, with that and the script strategies that I'm going to teach you, this is going to be you guys here in a minute. You ready? The reverse recruiting method, this is something that I created. How many of you guys already know about the reverse recruiting method a little bit and you love it? Let me hear you. Has it changed the game for you? Okay. The reverse recruiting method. The most powerful and effective posture and positioning that you can have in network marketing is one in which your prospects feel like they have to sell themselves to you as if you were the interviewer for their dream job. So, shouldn't they be selling themselves to you? Here's why they don't. Because you're too busy selling them on why they should join your business. People don't trust salespeople. Because if you sound like you're trying to sell them, then that tells them that you're probably going to make a commission. And if you're going to probably make a commission, you're not going to be completely honest with them, because you want them to say yes so that you can make money. People go to high school and university and they're taught how to get a job, yes or yes. They're taught to make a resume and to try to sell themselves to an interviewer so that they can get the job, right? Isn't that what they're taught? And they're taught that the harder it is to get the job, if there's 2 interviews or 3 interviews, when people get in that deep, man, they want that job so much, don't they? People don't appreciate that which they do not have to work with. People do not appreciate that which they do not have to fight for and comes easily. So what ends up happening is, if you're giving it up too easy, if you're making it so easy to join your company and you sound like you're selling, they go, all of a sudden they get skeptical and they go, wait a second. I don't know if I'm interested. Because whoever cares the least is in control. So what ends up happening is when you start to act more like the interviewer of their dream job and you make people work for it, all of a sudden, when you start to be the one who cares the least and acts like, well, you seem sharp, but I'm not sure yet. Now, all of a sudden, they go, oh, wait, how do I, wait, what do you mean you're not interested? I've got this experience and that experience, and oh, I'm a real good worker, and yeah, I'm loyal and hardworking, and then they start to sell themselves to. This is another Caesarism. Everything you chase will run away, and everything you run away from will chase you. Everybody say,
Like juicy.
Absolutely. So, stop convincing, start interviewing. Major key to success. Major key. Posture is the positioning of strength or weakness that you come across in every encounter. And your goal is to have strong posture. Because if people perceive you to be needy or weak, they won't want to join you. Because nobody wants to jump on board a sinking ship, but everyone wants to jump on board the money train. And so what you need to demonstrate is that you're not a sinking ship that needs their help to get the water out of the ship. But some of you guys are projecting that kind of energy, whether you realize it or not, just by sounding needy and acting like you care whether they get in or not. So what you need to demonstrate is that you are going with or without them, and that you're not prospecting or calling anyone to try to convince them to get in. You're calling them to put them on notice of what's about to happen. Let me get someone's name here up front. What's your name, my man?
Chi è il nome? Vai.
Francesco. So it's like this. I'm calling Francesco up and I'm saying, Francesco, what's going on? Listen, I've only got a quick minute, but I wanted to let you know that I'm actually up to something pretty big. And I just wanted to give you the heads up. I don't know, and I don't care if this is something that I don't know if this is something you'd be interested in or not. It's cool if you're not, but I just want to put you on notice with what I'm about to do so that you can never come back and tell me when I blow up that I forgot who I was or I forgot my friends. So this is that call.
Questo, ragazzi,
We call that the courtesy call approach.
the che?
Courtesy, like I'm doing you a
Courtesy.
because what you're saying is, hey, I just wanted to make a courtesy call just to tell you, out of respect and because you're my friend, what I'm about to do, don't care, but I just wanted to, as a courtesy to you as my friend, so that I don't leave you behind. You see, and when people feel that energy that you're going with or without them, they are very attracted to it. Because there are two major motivators in life: anticipation of gain and fear of loss. And of course, people are more motivated by fear of loss. So that's how you demonstrate that you're on the money train. You're on a train that's moving, and all you're saying is, all aboard. This, my friends, is called B10XB posture. We talked about a few little Caesarisms, right? Little self-made quotes. And here's a couple that'll help you to increase your posture and strength. I told you already, whoever cares the least is in control. You need to have a posture of some will, some won't, so what next? Repeat after me. Some will.
Some will.
Some won't.
Some want.
So what?
So what?
Next.
Next.
Next. Someone else is waiting. What you have to understand is that you are an instrument of God. You are an angel delivering a blessing. When you approach someone, you're not inconveniencing them, you're doing them a favor. Sometimes we look at people and we get intimidated by them by how they're dressed, what kind of car they're driving, how old they are. Who here would agree people get intimidated by that, you know? It happens to all of us. It was me too. That's why I moved to try to learn from someone who is so good at talking to people. But I'm living proof that you can get over that shit and have it all. In fact, let me show you the greatest thing that right here. Come out here, baby. Let me
Vuole
just show
farvi
you.
vedere.
Give it up for Emily.
Kiss cam, kiss cam.
Kiss cam. Thank you. So dream big. You can have whatever you want. All you have to do is think about what it is that you want and ask and just believe it is on the way. And the things that you can manifest and will manifest will absolutely blow your minds. You have a very good creator that loves you so much. I had an experience where I died, crossed over, came back, and the love that I felt for this being that surrounded me was unlike anything I'd ever felt in my entire life. All I could do was whimper and cry like a baby at how much love this thing felt for me and how I didn't even feel worthy because I couldn't understand, because our human feeble minds cannot even understand the love that our Creator has for us. We can't even comprehend it. And so I know from what I felt and what I heard that anything and everything is possible, because things will go right in front of you. The right person's going to cross the street on your way out of this thing. And that could be the person that you change their life and they change yours, because you wanted to go to a place that you just said, I want to be like this. I want to be like Giorgio. I want to have a beautiful relationship. I want this. Just make it happen. And imagine the kind of love that some of you who have kids know that you have for your kids. You just want anything for them. You just want to make it easy and make it possible. But you don't want to make it too easy. You want to make them work for it so that they're not spoiled. Isn't that how you are with children? So you just have to be ready for what you ask for. But if you just say, this is what I want, and I'm ready for it, and I'm ready to pass the tests, and I'm ready to do what it takes, but this is what I want, all of a sudden, doors will be open for you that were never open before. Are you ready for that challenge? Are you ready? Okay. Because for some of you, that is all that your Creator has been waiting for. Are you sure? Then let's start with going out and talking to other people. Because if you want to be blessed, you need to be a blessing. And a stranger is just an unmet friend. And every person you talk to is just practice. This is just you in your laboratory doing experiments, practicing talking to people. So don't get emotional about it. It's just practice. It's like being in the batting cage and the ball just comes and you just go, poof. And it's just a pitching machine that just comes and you just work on your form every single time. It's just practice. It's just experiments.
Solo esperimenti, pratica.
So have fun with it. Stop caring whether they say yes or no. This is just you practicing to be bold and to ask yourself that question, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? It's just like reps in a gym. If you want muscle, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the reps. Yes or yes? Okay, you guys want to get big bank accounts? Okay, let's put in the reps. I want to talk to you about leverage.
Damn, bro.
Of course I'm going to work in something about leverage, bro. I want to talk about leverage, and I want to show you what it looks like right here. By the way, I love your name, the Leverage Group. Say it. Tell them I love
piace il
this.
nostro nome, ragazzi.
Okay. The power of 2 exposures a day. Now, I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that year 1, all you do is commit to doing and talking to 2 people a day. Who here can talk to 2 people a day? If all you did was talk to 2 people a day, 250 days per year, That's 115 days off, just 250 days per year. If you just did that, that's over 500 exposures a year. That's like 5 days a week plus leaving out some holidays. Who here would agree that that's easy to do? 2 people a day to make 6 figures. Who here thinks that that would be a good job? If I had a job and I just said, hey, I'm gonna pay you 6 figures, here's all you have to do. Talk to 2 people every single day, 5 days a week. Doesn't matter if they say yes or no. All you have to do is every day, rain or shine, snow, whatever, 2 people a day. Who here would take that job? You would say, well, what's the quota? How many people do I have to sell? And what if the employer said, oh, there's no quota, just talk to 2 people a day about what we do. Just make sure 2 people see a video or some kind of presentation, just expose them, that's all. That would be a great job, wouldn't it? That's what you have and that's what you offer if you follow this program I'm about to put you on. Are you ready? If that's all you do, and that's 500 exposures a year, and you just get 5 other people to say, yes, I will talk to 2 people a day, every day, I'm in with you, let's do it together, rain or shine, I'm in. If all you did was get 5 people, that's 1%. What would happen is next year, you'd have you plus your 5, that's 6 people. 6 people doing 2 a day times 250 days a year, that's 3,000 exposures going out a year in your organization. And guess what would happen? If all anyone did was do the same thing and just get 5, that next year, what would happen is you'd now have 30 people doing 2 a day for 60 exposures a day times 250 days a year. That would then be 15,000 exposures a year in your business. Oh, they understand that. You guys can read English well, huh? And guess what? Year 4, same thing. Now you've got 150 people doing 2 people every single day. Every single day, 150 people on your team. What do we do? 2 a day. What do we do? 2 a day. Every day, 2 a day. No excuses except for the little holiday here and the weekends off or whatever. You get 115 days off. Someone has a funeral, a baby, something, the hospital. Who here can do that? Who here can do 2 a day? By year 4, that's 75,000 people in your business. The next year, if only, this doesn't count everyone else who isn't the hardcore people doing 2 a day. This doesn't count all their production, all the people who are just, I'll talk to someone here, talk to someone there. That doesn't count any of that. That's just your core best people. After 5 years of just you being committed to doing 2 a day and making sure every single person on your team that's serious about their business just does that. If all you guys ever did is just get 5 people a year, all it takes is 5 people a year to just commit to that for each person. Hey, what do? Our goal is to get 5 people a year that do 2 a day every single day. If someone else wants to come on and they just want to build part-time, they don't want to do 2 a day, we love them. But if all you ever did was get 5, that would have been close to 500,000 exposures in your business a year. Just look at year 5. Can you imagine if 750 of you, just 750 here, watching live, anywhere on live stream, if 750, and there's more than half of that here. If half of you committed to doing this, do you know that you guys would have the biggest team in the entire company? You guys would take over the earth. 1,500 presentations a day in just your team?
Sono 1500 presentazioni al giorno solo nel vostro team.
Because that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that being under you. Leverage Group would be sponsoring soccer teams. I wouldn't see Herbalife ads in the train station. I don't know if they get that joke. Because there's Herbalife ads for the whole network marketing in the train station on my way over here.
Ah, really?
Yeah, that's another network marketing company.
Sì, they know. I mean, everybody knows Herbalife in Italy.
Yes. You guys would take over that with a Leverage Group logo. Your team would be as big as some companies. I believe it. This isn't hype. I just trained you guys to be the boldest, most badass freaking team in the world, and I'm not even done yet. There's 2 types of people in this room. Some people that are going to say, yes, I'm 2 a day, and some people are going, now I don't know who the people are going to be, but those people are going to be the ones that come up with very creative reasons, excuses, as to why they can't. I remember being in New Jersey. I'm from North Carolina, but I was raised in New Jersey, and it snows up in New Jersey. And I remember visiting my mom one time when I was up there, and it was snowed in, snow up to here, and I hadn't given out 2 tape cassettes or CDs that day. And my mom said, oh, honey, come on, it's a snowstorm. You can't go outside. There's no one to talk to. You can't drive. And I said, Mom, you don't understand. And I went out there, put on some snow boots, and went into my neighbor's mailbox, and I put in a tape cassette in one and a tape cassette in another. Because it's about keeping a commitment and a promise to myself, because my integrity is important to me. Who else's integrity is important to them? Okay, that's it. Ladies, do not, if the man next to you is not clapping, don't pay him any mind. If they don't want to keep their word to themselves. Men, you look at them too. You want to be a person of integrity, yes? When you keep a commitment to yourself, you build your confidence. When you don't, you feel bad. And now you start to talk and look at yourself bad, and you erode your confidence. And if you can't do one thing, then your brain's going to go, well, I probably can't do the other. Because that's how the brain works. But if you keep a commitment to yourself and you follow through with doing that, now you'll probably follow through with working out. Because everything affects everything. So when you keep little promises to yourself, you start to look at yourself better, and you have more pride and confidence and self-esteem. And that's exactly what you want. So who will commit to doing 2 a day, every day, that's it? No. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to take a picture, okay? I'm going to take a picture, and we're going to stand up. No, I want this on video for you, so you can see everyone who stands up.
So whoever said yes, stand up.
Stand up. If you'll do 2 people every single day, no excuses. Stand up.
No excuses, ragazzi.
Stand up. Make some noise. Make some noise. Okay.
Bro,
okay.
Did you get the corner as well? Get the corner, get the corner.
Get the corner. Yeah. Okay. We just need some proof. They just made a commitment. I'm going to be watching you guys. I'm going to be watching you guys. Yes. If we're not already connected on social media, follow me up. I want to see you guys. And you keep me posted if you're doing your 2 a day. People committed to doing that. Okay? I'm excited for Leverage Group. I'm excited for this team. Woo! Woo! Okay. The cold market prospecting formula, write this down. Complement, converse, qualify, transition, takeaway, and close. CCQ-TTC. Say it after me. Chi-chi-Q, T-T-Chi. Is that how it is?
Ripetetelo.
Is that close? CCQ-TTC. Repeat after me.
CCQ-TTC.
On 3. 1, 2, and in Italian.
In Italiano.
1, 2, 3. Beautiful. That's all I want you guys to say to yourself over and over again. Wait, I want you guys to say that. CCQ, TTC. CCQ, TTC. CCQ, TTC. CCQ, TTC. Maybe we make it a TikTok. And this is just a little mental checklist. These are the things that you want to do with every single person that you meet. Now, you don't have to do them in exact order, but you just want to make sure that you've done every single one in every single situation. So, for example, let's talk about complimenting people. Don't give fake, superficial. What you want to do is look for genuine things that you can compliment on people. Something that's special, something that's a little bit deeper, something maybe about their personality or how they're interacting with you, the energy they give, something more like that. Now, you can compliment things like men, shoes, watches, suits. Ladies, men love compliments like that.
Men love compliments like that?
Men love compliments on their suits, watches, Women tend to like compliments on things like their bags, their energy, their personality, also shoes, watches, and bling. But the best things to compliment have to do with their character, their personality, the way that they treat you, how good of a job they're doing. Yes. So, whenever you're complimenting people and whenever you're talking to people, I want you to recognize the next part. So we just know that we need to compliment people, okay? That's just important. We just want to have that inside of the conversation. It doesn't have to be the first thing. The next step or the next area is to converse. That's just your conversation. So here's something to write down. F-O-R-M, form, for family or from, like from, where are you from?
Yeah.
Okay, familia, from. The next one, O, is for occupation.
From. So the R stands for?
No, F, we're just
Family?
going still in F.
Okay, F is family.
Family and or from, where they're from.
All right, or?
The O is for occupation, and R is for recreation. What they do for fun, what they're into. Now what we're looking for is the M, which is motivation. That's what motivates them, what they're excited about, what their passions are, what's important to them. See, because when you can find someone's motivation, you can help to steer them to whatever it is of a solution that you might have for any problem that they may have. So for example, if someone is very motivated by spending time with their family, coaching their kids' soccer, or traveling, you know how to describe and position your company in such a way that it offers that solution for that problem that they have or that motivation that they have. So a conversation might start out like, where's my man Francesco? Where'd he go? Put your hand up. Who was that? So if I'm talking to Francesco, right, I might say to him things like, hey, how's it going? Where are you from? Or are you from around here? And then he might say yes or no. And what I'm doing is I'm just gathering information and I'm building rapport, just getting to know someone. Isn't that what you say to just people that you're around? Hey, where are you from? What do you do? Isn't that right? It's very natural. This is just how you make friends in general. They say what they do for a living. And you can say, give me some professions. What do you do? Do you have another job? What's your other job? Oh. Electrician. Okay, gotcha. Okay, you're an electrician. So I say, oh, wow, you're an electrician. How long have you been doing that? 4 months. Wow, so you're new at that job. You like it? What did you do before? Okay, so before he was working in a shop and he sells electrician products. And so now he's an electrician. So I might ask a question like, oh, you were in sales before. How did you like that? Were you any good? He's saying he was good. He's saying, give him a round of applause. He was good at selling. Okay. So, but do you see, he was proud about that. I was like, oh, were you any good? What am I doing? I'm qualifying this person. Look at the next step. Qualify. Do you see how natural that was? I just said, oh, you were in sales. Oh, were you any good? And I just did like this. Say, oh, were you any good? Yeah, I was pretty good. Now, I might say, okay, so you've got sales experience. You're an electrician now. So now you're dealing with people, even more hands-on. So does that also mean that you're good with people? And then, are you good with people? Yeah, he's working on this. So there you go. It doesn't matter. He said, I'm working on this. If he says good or not, guess what? I have an opportunity that can help him work on being better with people. So I might say, oh, so are you into personal development and improving yourself and serious about trying to get better with working with people? And then at that point, they're probably going to say, because people like to keep congruency. Otherwise, they feel like they're lying. So if he just told me, yes, I was good at sales, and yeah, I'm working on getting better with people, is he starting to look like a good prospect? Yes? So now, right there, I can make a transition. Because I could say, well, listen, if you're serious about that, I can't promise you anything, which is what's called a takeaway. Because a takeaway is just you pulling back a little bit, and it's very important to pull back in every conversation and to have a takeaway. And you can do that by saying something as little as, I can't promise you anything, or I'm not the big decision maker in this. And so what ends up happening is whenever you say, I can't promise you anything in any conversation, usually what you're telling the person is, I'm not the sole decision maker in this. And then what happens is it makes the opportunity bigger than you. and not like it's just your business. And this is huge for you young people, because some of you guys who are young, you're sounding like you're the head of this company. You're saying, oh, I'm launching a business. And if they're looking at you and thinking, do I want to work for you? And then what ends up happening is now they're judging you and looking at your shoes and how you are and how old you are. And they're thinking, I don't know if I want to work with this person here. And now they're skeptical. But if you instead say, look, I can't promise you anything. I'm not the big decision maker in this. Now it sounds like you're a little person in a really big company that requires approval, like an interview process. And now you're subtly tapping in to their subconscious habit of thinking, wait a second, I feel like there's a potential job here or something, and this might be an interviewer. So they start to look at you like either maybe you are the interviewer or you're just a happy person working with a company and you're just friendly, and because they said all the right things, you're therefore bringing up the fact that like, hey, I can't promise you anything, but if you keep your options open, maybe I can put in a good word with you with one of the higher ups. So now all of a sudden, you go from looking like a salesperson to looking like you're just a really helpful new friend that's trying to do them a favor. So now they're starting to treat you like they're very thankful. They're going, oh, wow, thank you. Because when you say to someone, hey, look, I can't promise you anything, but if you have sales experience and you're looking for a way to get better working with people, and I know that you're excited about being an electrician right now, but if you saw a way where you could make some pretty serious money on top of what you're already doing, what ends up happening is now all of a sudden you say, look, I can't promise you anything, but if you're looking for help, if you're good at this, you want to get better at that, well, I might be able to put in a good word with you with one of the higher ups in this company I work with, because they're doing a lot of expanding into this area. And then I might say, can't promise you anything, but if you saw a way where you could make some pretty serious money on the side without interfering with what you're already doing, would that be something you'd be interested in? So what ends up happening is people go, yeah, well, sure, what is it? Yeah, I'm interested. And then you just say, okay, well, I can't promise you anything, and now isn't the time or place, but do you have your cell phone on you? And then point to their pockets or wherever their cell phone is hiding. And do this with your hand and point to it if you see it in their pocket and say, do you have a cell phone? Now you saw that he went for his cell phone. He literally just went like this. My friend, where's your cell phone? Which pocket? I got lucky, I just pointed there. But sometimes you'll go like this to people and you'll point to their pocket because they're under a light state of hypnosis. You'll point to the pocket where their phone isn't even in, and they'll go, and what will end up happening is they'll pull out their phone, and then when they do, you just say, okay, great. Go ahead and go to your text message or Instagram or social media, however you want to get their info. Now, if you don't have a great social media presence, get their phone number. If you got a good social media presence and you want to flex a little bit, then you can tell them to follow you on that too. So what ends up happening is, but always get their phone number. You can get the Instagram and stuff if you want, but number one priority, phone number. And then what you say is you tell them what to text. Say, open up your text message thing, and then type to this number, give them your phone number, and then you tell them what to type, and just say, hey, it's Francesco, or was it Francisco? Francisco. Hey, it's Francisco from the grocery store. Hit me back about that potential opportunity you mentioned. Keyword potential. Because again, you don't want to look like you're offering them anything just now. You're just doing them a favor, no promises. And now when you go to follow up on them, you can simply just say, hey, remember me? I just wanted to hit you back like you asked me to. Everybody go, If you think that's good, say, Is this juicy? How you talk to people. This is control. This is like in Star Wars, the Jedi Mind Force, where they say, these are not the droids you're looking for. Some of you guys didn't see Star Wars, I think. Okay. But that's the close. That's how you get people's information. Now, you can go deeper in conversations. When someone says something like, yes, I'm an electrician, I've been doing this for 4 months or whatever, you can go deeper, and when they sound excited, you can ask questions like, oh, So what do you like most about it so far? Or you can say, and after they answer, you can take that information and they say, oh, I like working with people, I like variety, I don't like office jobs. And you can also then say afterwards, oh, well, is there anything you don't like about it? And then you can take that information and just store it here and use it accordingly. So if he says, oh, I hate working in hot days, or the people are really harsh, you can say something like, now when you're making your transition, you can add, well, hey, if you saw a way where you could, and then you say everything that they like, work with people, you have some sales experience, but not have to work outside and not work with people you don't like, would that be something you'd be interested in? So you can play with it and have fun and do it all different types of ways. Another quick way to transition, if you talk to someone and they say that there's some profession that's kind of maybe very appropriate for what you do, if they're in real estate or they're in sales or insurance, you can say, if someone says, oh yeah, I'm in real estate, you can say, no way, oh my God, are you in real estate? Are you serious? And then all of a sudden they go, wait, why? What's going on? Now they're curious, aren't they? And then you might do a little compliment, but also qualify, and you might say, wait, are you any good at it? Wait, how good are you at it exactly? And now all of a sudden they go, well, I'm pretty good. I'm brand new. I sold 5 houses. And they start selling. And whoever's asking questions is in control. And so if you're asking questions and you're getting them to qualify themselves, now all of a sudden people feel, without even realizing it, they don't even realize, like, why am I selling myself to this person? And something is subconsciously triggered in their brain because of their ego to just sell themselves to you, and that what ends up happening is you are now perceived in their mind to be a person of more authority than they are, because they're selling themselves to you right off the bat. Write this down in your notes. Seek to be impressed, not the impressor, not the person that impresses other people. Seek to be the one that is. See, the more you sound like you're trying to impress someone else, the lower you're putting yourself in posture and the higher you're elevating them. I'll give you a fun example. Where my ladies at? Let me hear you. Hands up and let me hear you. Leverage group, we need to talk about recruiting more women. But my ladies, if you meet a guy and he's a good-looking guy, like this guy right up here, say your name so everyone knows, because I know everyone knows you. What's that?
Andrea.
Say Andrea. And what's your last name? Just because people can't. Marchetto. Andrea Marchetto. You guys know this guy? He's tall, he's good looking, he has a perfect head of hair, great smile, single ladies, and he says, hey, let me tell you about myself. Just so you know, I don't know if you saw that Ferrari outside, and I live in a really awesome house, and I make a lot of money, and I've got a pretty good set of hair, good genetics. So can I have your number? And women, would you be interested in that man? Yes or no? Great offer, great package, poor presentation.
Capito? Quindi dice ottimo prodotto, ottimo impacchettamento, pessima presentazione.
He sounds desperate, he sounds weak, he sounds needy. So people think there must be something wrong with him. But if he plays hard to get, now it's a different story, isn't it? Because, and this is another Caesarism,
E questo è un altro cesarismo.
you need people, but you don't need any one person. Go ahead. So the less you care, the more they'll be attracted to you. And this is the principle of the reverse recruiting method and the cold market prospecting formula. When you combine those together, you are unstoppable. Who here is feeling fired up? So, are you feeling stronger? Are you feeling bolder? This is what I came here to do, to turn you guys into the best of the best. Give it up for Giorgio for bringing me out here and everyone who helped make this possible. This man and his team, your organization, paid big money to fly me out here to hang out here to deliver this message because he believes in you. Your leadership team believes in you. They love you, and there's no amount of money that they won't spend to take care of you and make sure that you can have organizations that are this large and put your own events together like this. That's how much they love you. I'm not a cheap date, but I'm worth it. And they believe that for you. Now, follow up. I appreciate you, brother, and the love you have for these people and me. And the love is 100%, you know that. Guys, this is my brother, man. This is my brother. Yeah, we became brothers through this whole process. Follow up. When you follow up with people, whether you talk to them online, offline, all you need to do, if you got their phone number and it was a cold market prospect, you just text them back and you just say, hey, it's your name. I wanted to hit you up as promised. And what you want to do at that point is set up your presentation. Now, you've got a pretty good video that they use. What's the thing that most of people use in presentation? A video. How long is the video?
Like max 20.
Max 20 minutes. So what you want to do in your follow-up is you just want to say, hey, how soon, I wanted to follow up with you like you asked, and you want to get on the phone with people, by the way. Get on the phone with people. And when you talk to them, you just want to say, hey, how soon can you carve out 20 distraction-free minutes where you can be in front of a computer or a phone and able to talk?
Yeah.
And what you want to make sure of is that you set an appointment for them to watch the videos. Never, ever, ever, ever give them the link and just say, watch it and tell me when you're done. Never do that anymore. The video is your power. You never want to give it up, because once you give it up and you don't control the end conversation that happens immediately thereafter, they have time to research it, they have time to think about it, they have time to talk to other people, to Google it. You never want to just give them your information. Once you set that appointment, they say, yes, I'll have 20 distraction-free minutes at 6 o'clock, and then you tell them, you say, look, I'm going to set you up on some videos. It's going to share with you everything about our company, the opportunity, and the kind of money that you could make if we took you on board. And then when they set that time, what you do when you set them up for the presentation is you then say to them, I want to make sure that we talk at a time to where as soon as the videos are done, I'm going to set a stopwatch for 20 minutes, and I'm going to follow up with you to hear what you like best and to take your temperature. And if I feel like you get it and are excited and enthusiastic about what you see, and I feel good energy from you, then we'll discuss whether or not this is something that we take to the next level. Do you see how in that setup for that presentation, you're already programming them that they need to impress you and be enthusiastic and excited about it? Do you see the power in that? You're already programming them that they need to give a good answer and to sound excited. So now their expectation as they're watching the video is different. Because now all of a sudden they're going, okay, I need to make sure that I feel excited and enthusiastic or he might not take me. So now their skepticism is reduced because they're trying to make sure that they don't say a wrong answer that would turn you off. They don't even know what it is yet, but they know to be excited about it. And they know that if they don't understand it and sound like they do, that you might not be impressed with their answer and they may not qualify to move to the next step. So presenting becomes easy and you just use the video to do the work. And then you just ask a couple questions when closing. When the video is done and you've set up that appointment and you've told them, okay, start the video. So you set up the appointment, 6 o'clock, whatever time, and then you go, okay, I'm going to go ahead, and you take them to the website, you have them watch the video, and you say, I'm going to start my stopwatch, and it's going to go off in 30 minutes. I'm going to call you if you don't call me first in 30 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever. And then you say, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And it's like you're synchronizing, so now they feel like they're on a military mission to watch it and make sure that they call you, or because they know they're calling you. They're like, oh. And if they have to go to the bathroom, they hold it. Because that's the urgency and importance and the posture that you're coming across with.
Bro, one question.
Yes.
Would you suggest that people like send the video or watch with them, like aside?
If it is in person, you can do that. But if you're just doing it over the phone, you don't need to be in person with them.
Yeah, of course. I mean.
Yes. So what would we prefer?
Yeah.
You tend to close a little bit better when you're in person because you can build a little bit more rapport when you're new. But once you get the words down, you actually don't really even have to be with them. I was the #1 recruiter in a company with close to 500,000 people, and I did, I think, 5 presentations face to face.
How many people you closed? Like
I put the
thousands.
first I recruited 100 people my first 116 days. And the reason why is because when you have such strong posture and you get so good at this, people are selling themselves to you, and people associate with being busy, with being successful and making money. So sometimes the less time that you have for people, when you get very effective, the more important you seem. So sometimes when someone would even be in my town, I'm like, listen, man, I don't have time to go meet you at whatever. Like, watch this video, and if I feel like you get it, we'll see if we need to meet or something. But what I will say is getting people to know, like, and trust you and building rapport is very important. So some of you, you may find that you do better meeting in person.
Maybe.
Just test it out and see what you feel. But the good thing about being in person, you can learn a lot more, and it's good practice with people. But I would say that your goal is to get to the point where you don't have to sit down with people because you literally just don't have the time. But if you have the time to do it, do it. But the more you do this cold market prospecting and the more that you're talking to people and your team's growing, it gets to the point where it's like, look, I don't have time to do that. Watch this thing. If you don't get it, I'm out. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick because I got to go. That's B10XB posture. Now, to help you guys in closing, to transform into 10 times bolder, more badass versions of yourselves, I wanted to give you all a gift, and that is a free B10XB wristband. So I know there's a lot of people here, and there's a lot of people watching on live stream. I actually don't even make any money off this. I literally lose money for every single person that does this. But I'm going to go ahead and just give it to you, a coupon for a free B10XB wristband. Just go to this website, b10xb.com/LG. So all you have to do is just pay for the shipping, whatever that is. And I actually, like I said, I lose money because they charge me just to put it in the package and to send it out. But I don't care because I want to sew into each and every one of you guys. If you have questions with anything, if you guys haven't followed me, if you have questions about anything, stay in touch. This is not the end of our relationship. This is the start of it. So we're friends and we're connected for life. And it's been such a pleasure to get what I've gotten from you guys here so far. It's just been absolutely amazing. I want to close with a 3-question close that I want you to say when people are done with the video. When someone's done watching the video and you follow up on them, you just ask, what did you like best? Do you see an opportunity for yourself? And is there anything else you need to know before you get started? If we took you on board.
Nasty.
If we took you on board. Now what ends up happening is they might ask you some questions. If they say, oh, I have some questions, you just say, okay, hold on. But first, what did you like best? Because what you're trying to do is you're just trying to take their temperature and you're reminding them, hey, hold on. I know you've got some questions, but hold on. What did you like best? So they're going to answer, and this is part of the information that you can use as to find out what their hot buttons are, what interests them, what are they excited about, the product, the opportunity, what really spoke to them. And so what ends up happening is they're going to start to give you that information, and when it gets to the end, they might have some questions. Or they might say something, and if you ever hear someone say, when it's done, they go, it's interesting, or it's intriguing, then what you need to do is stop them and go, oh, whoa, it's only just interesting? You're only just intrigued? I don't know. And now all of a sudden, they're going, oh, I just gave a wrong answer. And now you're programming them that you don't like their answer and that just being interested is not good enough for you. And then what happens is you're immediately starting to shift them and take back control of your posture. You want to act as if you're an interviewer and you're sizing them up and you're trying to figure out whether or not you want them on your team or to work with your company. And when you start to make that shift in people's minds over and over and over again, and you learn how at every step of the process to constantly take whatever comes at you and just shift it and use it like judo, what happens is you are perceived as an authority and you are perceived as a high-value person, and what will happen is people will continuously sell themselves to you. I'll give you another great little Caesarism. I tell people, if you're not interested in this, I don't want you to do this more than you don't want to do this. So if you're not interested a little, I'm not interested a lot. If you're a little skeptical, I'm very skeptical about having you be on our team. Okay, so I didn't come here to do anything other than what I just did to help transform you guys. Giorgio and I were talking, and he told me the other day, he said, Cesar, I've put a lot of people through the Recruit 10 and 10 challenge that you do, and he says, I want to do another one and get everyone here on the same calendar, doing it all on the same time, starting on the 10th. And this is a program that I created that is designed to teach you and to really go deeper on everything that I just said. So I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for all of the love. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And once again, Italy, thank you so much for having me. Little bonus day. Let me go ahead and bring up my man, Giorgio Trabaldo. Your leader, the man who made this possible, brought me over. My brother from another mother. All right, well, I am excited today. Who here had fun yesterday? Who here had fun yesterday? Who here is feeling bolder? 5 people. Fantastic. Oh, 6, 7, 8, 9. In the back, are you guys not fired up? Don't let these guys beat you over here. All right. So today, here's what we're going to talk about. How to take over the world. Who here would like to know how to take over the world with your business? Well, how to do that. I'm going to give you your worldwide takeover plans. I'm impressed how many of you guys can hang with me here. All right. We're going to talk about how to recruit people who are different than you. People who are of the opposite sex, age, profession, etc. And this is a very important thing to do because you don't ever want to get your business to just be one type of person. Would you agree? You want to have diversity. We're going to talk about how to recruit up and sponsor people more successful than you. So that way you can get less people saying things like, I don't have the money. And you can recruit people who say, oh, I know thousands of people. This is going to be easy. Who wants people like that on their team? Okay. So let's get into it. Worldwide takeover plans. Here's why you want to start expanding globally and how to do it. Why you want to have your business be in more than just your backyard is because you want to protect your business. A perfect example that's happened with this is the pandemic. When Italy was hit really hard, people in the US were still out and about, talking all the time, meeting with people in coffee shops. And there are people in places where they don't even wear masks anywhere. It's completely like the pandemic never even happened. Yet other cities and states and countries were on complete lockdown, and a lot of them, their businesses suffered. I remember when I was running to make the top level of my company, and I was going for it, and it was that month, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna run for it. That's it. All business, no games, let's get it. And I was closing in on that promotion in that new rank. But then what ended up happening was I lived by the beach, and there was a hurricane that was coming into town. So what ended up happening is right when the month is about to close out, and I'm just a few people away. I'm trying to sit down with people, and I'm trying to say, hey, yeah, we're gonna meet at this coffee shop at noon, right? And people and all my prospects and all my appointments were saying, bro, are you crazy? There's a damn hurricane coming into town. I'm boarding up my house. What you talking about? But I didn't care because I was so focused on my business and hitting this rank. But I remember feeling helpless and thinking to myself, man, while I'm dealing with this, there are people in the country that have no idea that there's even a hurricane coming here, and it's business as usual. So it was at that moment I created the little term, I need to hurricane-proof my business. And so I started to put together a plan, and I started following it to expand my business in other areas other than my house. And I want to share with you some of those things that I did here today. Because the last thing that you want to do is have your business too vulnerable to attacks. So, let me share with you the network marketing success formula. Then I'm going to give you an example of leverage and how to build your business long distance. And then I'm going to give you guys some scripts and some action plans to help you take over the damn world. So a very simple network marketing success formula is your ability to get a large group of people to do a few simple things over a consistent period of time. So yesterday we talked about the power of just 2 exposures a day. And I just want to share this with you really quick, and I'm going to show you a little something that you guys are going to add onto your weekly agenda that's going to help you to blow up your business and have business everywhere outside of Italy so we can take Leverage Group around the world. This is a beautiful thing that you guys have going. And you're going to get a chance to say, oh, no, I was there at the beginning. You're going to get to say, oh, yeah, I remember the first event that I went to, or the second event, or the third event. Oh, I remember my event, 1,500 people. I mean, it was that little. And people will be like, oh, only 1,500 people? Because at that point, you guys will be renting out stadiums. You ready for that? I've seen it happen. So, I want you to understand that this has already happened in network marketing. I'm not just hyping stuff up, and I've never seen a movement like this that's taking off with the energy that you guys have. I mean, you guys know there are other teams in this company that are doing huge events like that. Why not you? I think you're next. All right. So, believe that. The power of 2 people a day, we talked about it yesterday. If all you do every single day is just talk to 2 people 5 days a week, and you just get 5 people to do that your first year, by year 2, here's where you're at. 2 people a day times 200. If you got 6 people a day doing 2 a day, 250 days a year, that's 3,000 exposures a year. Then this is just your 5 core people. You look year 3, year 4, year 5. If all anyone ever did, if all you guys just did is just get with the people on your team and say, listen, I love you. I want to help you. I just want to know, what level of commitment do you want to be at? And all you have to say is, look, we have a plan and a program. We have a 5-year plan, to help you get pretty much whatever you want in your life financially. And then you can just say, look, I can't guarantee you anything. I can't promise you anything, but I just want to show you this chart. And take a picture of this if you don't have this already. Take a picture of this. And you can just show people, and you can say, listen, if you just do this, if after only 5 years, if after only 5 years, you get 5 people to do this yourself, and then you get those 5 people to say, hey, we're going to just do this, here's where you could be in 5 years. And if you just say to these people, okay, now look, I just want to know, where do you want to be in this picture? Because this is where I'm going to be 5 years from now. Do you want to be one of these people that comes with me and has this many exposures into your business a day? Or do you just want to maybe talk to one person here and there? And you just want to say, I'm going to love you either way, but I'm just looking for 5 people to really lock arms with and work with. And if they say, yes, I'm one of those 5, you lock arms with those people and you give them everything that you got, and you just follow and watch to see if they keep their commitment. And you keep each other accountable. That's your core workout partner.
E vi tenete...
Make a little group, make a little Telegram group, your 2-a-day group. And just check in with you. Did you guys do your 2? Did you do your 2? Did you do your 2? Got my 2. And this is where you can be. Now, let me just show you one more thing to add. What if you just focused on doing one long distance exposure every single week? Just one time a week. Just one time a week, you make a commitment to reach out to someone that is outside of your backyard. Maybe it's someone out of your city, or maybe it's someone out of your country. If you and just 5 people do this, the first year, what ends up happening is you're gonna have 52 exposures a year, 52 opportunities outside of your backyard. But by year 2, now all of a sudden, you've got 6 people, once a week, 52 weeks a year, that's 624 exposures a year. And if you just keep going down the line, what ends up happening is if after 5 years, you've had 49,000 people outside of your backyard, outside of your country even, being exposed to this business. Do you not think that with 49,000 exposures that you're not gonna have a big international business? Do you guys think that you probably will have a pretty big business outside of the country if you do that? Here's the thing. What's easy to do is easy not to do. And the problem is, some people will just say, you know, it's just a week, no big deal, I'll do 2 next week. But what happens is when you don't keep that commitment to yourself, you erode your own confidence. So what I would encourage you to do is keep track, keep a journal, put a check mark at the end of your commitment for the week. Put a little check on your calendar every single time that you hit that one person a week outside of your backyard. And keep your team accountable to this. Back when I did this in my business, the commitment was mail 1 long distance package a week. So once a week, I had to go to the post office and mail a physical CD-ROM or a DVD to someone. That's what I had to do once a week, every week. If I didn't go to the mailbox, then I failed. Because that was the time before social media and videos and all that kind of stuff. But today it's easy. Today it's easy. All you have to do is make a list of all the people that you know that are outside of your area, different countries, different cities, and then just ask all the time, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know in Rome? Who do you know in Venice? Who do you know in any country, any city, any place you want to expand? Who do you know in the United States? Ask people, hey, if they're not bilingual, ask them, say, hey, are you bilingual at all? Or are you trilingual? What languages do you speak? Ask people around, what languages do you speak? And if someone says, oh yeah, I speak really great English, or I speak really great French, then all you have to do is say, oh my gosh, do you happen to know any people in the United States or any people in France? And then they'll probably say, well, yes, I have family there, I have friends there, because why else would they learn the language? It's a place that they want to go, or an area where they might already have some family or some connections. And then you can say to those people, this is so crazy, I'm so glad I met you. I actually work with a company that's expanding into that area, and we're looking for some people that can speak both Italian and English. And then you can just say, look, I can't promise you anything, but if you saw a way where you could make some pretty serious money on the side on top of what you're already doing, and it didn't interfere with what you're already doing, would that be something you'd be interested in? Do you see how easy this is? Do you see how easy this is? Please. And right there, you could have yourself a new prospect and a reason to go and expose people outside of your area through that person. I mean, that's the easiest line. You could literally just walk around all day long and just say, do you speak any other languages? Do you speak any other languages? And then if someone says, no, I only speak Italian, you can say, oh man, that's too bad. And they're gonna probably say what? Why, right? Why? Why do you ask? Well, it's not that important here because I happen to be working with a company that's done a ton of expanding in this area. A lot of people with them are already making a lot of money, but we're pretty much, kind of getting full here, and we're looking for some areas outside. And you can just say, not the company, it's still a wide open market, but just we already have a lot of people on my team, or we already have a lot of people that are with our particular division that have expanded out here and have helped a lot of people to work with us on the side to make extra money and stuff. And we're starting to look for some people in some different areas. And then they're going to probably go, wait, well, what do you do? You like this? So what ends up happening, guys, is no matter what, you really can't lose. Now, the next thing that I want you to do, and that's when you're out prospecting, and that can be online, offline, wherever. But the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to focus on who do you know personally. And with every new person you sponsor, start to ask them, hey, before we make our list, really quick, who do you know that's outside of this area, that isn't just in Italy? Do you know anyone in any other countries? And then you can say whatever you want from there. You can say, oh, when they ask why, you can say, well, man, because our company is about to blow up in the United States. I mean, we're killing it here. We're about to take this movement that we're doing, and we're going to go blow up over there. So if you know anyone there, if you know anyone here, if you know anyone, wherever they know, just say, we definitely want to put a star next to that list. Now for you, I want to share with you a really bold strategy. I want you to make a list yourself of everyone that you could possibly think of that is outside of this area. Everyone that speaks another language, if they speak a little English or if they speak Italian and they're out in the United States, I want you to make a really big list and start to sort this, and then I'm going to tell you what you want to do with it. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a really big list of the people that you know that are outside of this area. And then you've got a couple different options. You can, number one, you can expose those people yourself if you feel comfortable in doing so. Or you can, number two, pass that name along to someone in your upline who's really good with talking to people, closing, presenting. Get that name on the list to the next sharpest person you know. If it's Giorgio or whoever, this man is committed and ready to fly around the world and take this group everywhere. So here's what I want you to do, and I want you to imagine something. If everyone on here, if everyone in this room just wrote down 5 people, just 5 people, their names and numbers, and you got them to someone in your upline who was really great on the phone, if that's all you did, can you imagine that you could have that person potentially work for you by calling these people up and saying, hey, listen, I'm friends with Giorgio. He gave me your number, and he told me that you were a very sharp individual, someone who is hungry, ambitious, knows a good amount of people, and is the type of person that keeps their options open. And I just wanted to find out if all the good things he said about you are true. And just by doing that, when you call someone up and you say, hey, such and such person gave me your number, they told me this, and then you compliment them. Make sure that you use the word open-minded. Say, hey, I heard that you are a very sharp, open-minded, business-minded individual, and I just wanted to see, and then also give them a personal compliment about if you know something about the person. Say, and they said that you were really funny too, and I just called to find out if all the good things they said about you are true. And then they'll usually laugh, especially if you use that line and you say, oh, just want to find out if all the good things they said about you are true. They'll usually laugh, and then once you do, you've gotten a little ice broken, right? You've warmed them up, and now you can just say, hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is because I'm working with a company that's doing a lot of expanding in their area, and I just wanted to find out if you're the type of person that keeps your options open when it comes to making more money, or if you're the type of person who might know somebody who might fit the characteristics or the qualities or the description of the people we're looking for. That's how you can call someone if you just have gotten their number and you don't know a lot about them. Does that make sense? Now here's what you want to do if it's your person, and this is the more advanced, and this is what I recommend everyone gets to. But if you're new and this feels like too much, or you feel like, I'm not sure, then get it to someone who is excited about it. But if you feel like, you know what, I think I can knock this out myself, then what I want you to do is this. What I want you to do is reach out to those people and use the same type of approaches that I shared yesterday. Prospect them as usual, talk to them on the phone, ask them if they're keeping their options open, let them know what it is that you're doing, and then just say, hey, I'm calling you because our company's expanding into this area, and I wanted to find out if you keep your options open. If you do, then what I can do is I can show you some information. If I like what I hear after you're done watching this information, then I can introduce you to one of the higher-ups who would be in charge of our national or international expansion. And then just go through your regular process, ask them the 3-question close when the video's done. What do you like best about what you saw? Do you see an opportunity for yourself? And is there anything else you'd need to know before you get started if if we chose to take you on board. And then just tee that person up and then get a person who's an expert on the line to help you close that individual if they have any questions or there's anything that you don't want to necessarily deal with, or if you feel like you're in over your head. This is also why it's so important to never just give out your information or your video link or anything like that whenever they ask for it. This is why it's so important to set an appointment and to say, okay, great, 6 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and watch it at 6 o'clock, or we're going to watch it at noon time. At this time, I'm going to see if I can get my senior partner ready to be ready 20 minutes after you watch that video in case we have any questions for you or you have any questions for us. And then all you have to do is just let that person know. Say, hey, listen, I got a 12 o'clock, I got a 2 o'clock, I got a 3 o'clock appointment. And then just make sure that they're at the ready. And when you have that person on the video, say, hey, they just started the video. Will you be available in 20 minutes? In case I need you, right? Because you may not need that person. Now, I want to give you 2 really quick things on objections that'll help you with most objections, okay? I mean, Daniel covered objections yesterday. Did he kill it? Did Daniel G kill it? That's my boy. I love that dude. So, 2 quick things on objections. Anytime someone asks you any kind of objection, that you don't really feel like answering because maybe it's a personal question or maybe it's just one that kind of isn't going to lead to anything, here's what I want you to say. You can say, that's a great question and I appreciate you asking. But before I answer it, do you mind if I ask you one first? Just for the interest of time, is the answer to that question the determining factor of whether or not you choose to get involved here today? Because what that does is that immediately makes them think, okay, is the answer to this question the determining factor? Most of the time, they will answer no. And then what ends up happening is you get to then say, okay, well then, for the interest of time, do you mind if I just ask, what is the determining factor of whether or not you get started here today if we took you on board? And then what happens is you end up getting the truth. You end up having people say, oh, well today, I wouldn't know about, I couldn't get started today, I don't have the money. Or they'll tell you, well, the determining factor is if my wife will let me do it, or if my husband will let me do it, or if I have the time. And so what this does is it narrows the focus and it eliminates you having to answer multiple questions, and then you only end up addressing what the real thing that's holding them back from getting started today is. I mean, is that gangster or what? Some of you don't understand how powerful that is until you start using it, and you're gonna have someone to go, oh, I just watched the video, I have a lot of questions, and then they ask one, like, what's the market penetration, or how much are you making? And you just say, oh, well, that's a great question, and before I ask it, I'm just curious, is the answer to that question the determining factor of whether or not you get involved here today? Why don't we just stay focused on what is? It just keeps you constantly focused on what's important so you don't waste your time. Now, if someone happens to say, oh, yes, that is the determining factor, then you can just ask a follow-up question and you can confirm it. You can say, okay, so what you're saying is the minute you find out how much I make or what the market penetration is, you're going to be pulling out your credit card and buying a pack today? And what ends up happening is usually they'll go, well, no, that's not the factor, or they'll tell you exactly what it is, and you go from there. Now, let me tell you the other way for handling objections. Feel, felt, found. Write it down. Feel, felt, and anytime someone says something like, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I'm not a salesperson, you can just say, hey, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found out was, and then you just insert whatever epiphany you had as to why that wasn't something that should hold you back, or why it's the very reason you chose to get started. And what ends up happening is you just share your story. You say, hey, what I found out was I didn't have any extra time either, or I didn't have any extra money, and I knew that if for things to change, I had to change. So I knew that I needed to do something different, because doing what I was doing was getting me the result that I got. And if I wanted different results, I needed to do something different. So that's the very reason why I chose to get involved in this business. So the very reason that you're saying you might not be interested in this is the very reason why I absolutely did this. There's an expression, and that's one man's trash is another man's treasure. And it's the same thing. One person's excuse is another person's reason. One person's excuse for not doing this business is another person who's in this business's reason for exactly why they did it. All right, now let me tell you and help you on how to recruit people sharper than you. Who here wants sharper people than you, people with more money and influence than you? When I first got started in my business, I was 21, 22 years old, and I looked very, very young. And so people would look at me, and I could feel like they were judging me. And so what I realized was, I said, you know what? What I need to get is I need to recruit to my weakness. So what I did was I started to adjust my targeting. I started to look for more successful people. If I was out prospecting and I saw one person that was a college kid and I saw another woman in a business suit, even though this felt more comfortable, because I thought, well, you know, they're the same age as me, they might look up to me, if I like talk a good game, then maybe they'll believe me. I challenged myself and went outside of my comfort zone to say, no. I'm not gonna talk to this person, I'm gonna talk to this person instead. In fact, I have a training program that shows me prospecting people live in the streets. And in this program, there's this one scene, because I'm being videoed by people that are like in the bushes and stuff. And there's this scene where I go up to this person and I'm talking to them and they're young. And then I see this other lady, I'm in the middle of prospecting this person, and then this other lady smoking a cigarette right behind me, and she's just dressed, she's older, she looks sharper, one girl's a college kid, this woman looks like a professional. I literally stop, I say, hey, nice meeting you. Before I even went to prospect, I was just talking to her a little bit, and right before I made the transition, I was like, okay, nice meeting you, and I literally started all over from the start with a new person because I didn't want to hear her prospecting me over there. That's how serious my focus was on recruiting up and getting sharper people than me. So one of the biggest things that I want you to do is to start to adjust your targeting. Because what I struggled with, and I see so many beautiful young faces in here, and I can relate, because I started when I was 21. So I remember what it was like, and one of the biggest things that changed in my business is when I stopped just talking to other college kids and people who worked at, you know, McDonald's and, you know, these people, and I started thinking like, okay, who's driving a nice car? And I would stop if I saw someone drive a nice car, if I saw someone that was dressed nice. If I looked at someone and I thought to myself, that's a person that looks like they'd have enough money to join my business, I would go up and I would talk to them. Because here's the thing, if you guys continue to follow me and plug into all the trainings that your leaders are doing, you're going to get so good that objections are not going to be a problem. I mean, you've been given excellent objection training just this weekend. But what I want you to realize is the one thing you can't do is you can't put money inside of people's pocket. So if you want to deal with less objections and you don't want to have any more money problems, start looking and finding and targeting people that have more money. Fine, keep talking to the college kids if you want, but make sure that you're balancing that with getting people who are better than you, sharper than you, and making more money than you. The best way to build a championship team is to make sure that you are the worst player on your team. Here's a big secret. This is what I discovered. When I was young and I was trying to talk to people who looked more successful than me, who drove nicer cars than me, what I realized is instead of trying to sound like I was the big deal, I learned to not be the big deal. Meaning, stop trying to sound like it's your company, like it's your business. I used my youth as an advantage. I thought to myself, okay, this person would never believe that I work with a really big, successful company, you know, and I'm some kind of, you know, recruiter or anything. So you know what? Instead, I'm just gonna act like I'm the person who gets coffee for the guy. Because now what ends up happening is they look at you, and if they're impressed by you, they go, oh wow, okay, this is a sharp person. I can believe that this person is like the assistant for some big CEO or something like that, or some really big executive. If they like you and they already are like, okay, I can kind of believe that you do that, then you already have a lot of credibility. And if you don't look like you fit the part, there's no hope for you. No, just kidding. Because, I mean, how credible do you have to look like you get coffee for someone important? Not very credible, right? Anyone can fit that role. So that's always gonna be a believable role. And even if you are successful looking and they go, whoa, this person's really sharp. Man, I can only imagine how sharp the person above them is. So what I would do is when I would prospect people, I would say things like, hey, listen, I'm not the big deal. I can't promise you anything. Those lines we've talked about before. But what I can do is maybe introduce you to one of the people that I work with who's really high up in the company, and maybe they can see if they can do something and get you involved in some kind of way. And now they end up going, oh wow, thank you. You put in a good word for me? Like, what a nice person. Because you don't even look like you're getting anything from it. So if you combine that with the cold market prospecting formula I shared yesterday, and the things that I've shared with you today, it's going to be very easy for you to recruit up. You just have to make the decision to get outside of your comfort zone and to look for people who make more money than you, who have more influence than you, who have more success status than you. You just have to make the decision to do it and then to just do it. So if you just do that, you're gonna now have and know how to prospect people who are different ages than you, different professions. It's just about targeting and adjusting your confidence and being bold. And who here in this room is committed to being bolder? All right. Gotta make sure, as the leader of the B10XB movement, I gotta make sure that you guys are walking out of here bold.
Hey, did you get your wristbands, guys?
Not a lot of people today, though.
So they will find you in the corridors?
Yes, I'm gonna go out in the corridors at the lunch break, and take photos.
Yeah.
And of course, for those of you that joined that Recruit 10 and 10 challenge, just show me the receipt. Just go to this site, I'll put it here at the end. And just so you know, guys, I didn't come here to sell you anything. That wasn't the plan at all. Giorgio literally said, he was like, hey, you know what? I wanna do a blitz when this is done and have everyone just get laser focused and committed and go through this challenge so that everyone can walk out after this event and have some additional training for me to help them to recruit 10 people in 10 days, because that's what I'm gonna do. This stuff is just scratching the surface. I'm gonna go really deep with you.
I sold him to sell you.
Yeah, awesome. Give it up for whatever he just said. All right. Let's focus on recruiting people of the opposite sex. Some people get intimidated by this, and I understand. I was like that at first too. I was very good as a young man. I was very good at approaching other young men, but I was not very good when it came to approaching women. I was a lot more scared. I just thought they would think I'm hitting on them. I was a little bit nervous, especially with the pretty ones or the older ones. But because I felt intimidated, that's the very reason why I leaned into it the most, because I didn't want to have any weaknesses with talking to other human beings. So what happened was I started focusing on it, and every time I would see someone that I would be a little bit scared to approach, and I would see a woman, for me, the scariest people for me when I was new to prospect, it was successful looking women who had really big diamond rings on their fingers. I'm just curious, does anyone else get a little nervous with those types of people? Guys, young, was it just me? So, because I would just make up stories like, oh, she already has a rich husband, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, she doesn't even work, she's probably just a rich housewife and she doesn't need any money. Look at her rich husband, she's gonna say no. But then I saw my mentor, his name was Larry Gregory, very charismatic man, and I learned a little line that he would say. He would see a woman's ring, and he would say, oh my goodness, look at that rock. Wow, you are well kept. You must not even have to work or anything. I bet you have a rich husband. And then what would end up happening is they'd go, oh no, he's not rich. Oh goodness, no, I definitely work. Or they would say something that would give me an opening, and I would say, oh yeah? What do you do? Or they would say, oh yeah, I get to stay at home. And then I would just say, oh wow, that's so amazing. We have so many women in our company that are just like you, who stay at home, and they work with our company because it gives them a really great opportunity to meet and mingle with other women like themselves, real fun women who are building something together, making money together. We have a lot of women like you that work with us part-time. And so what would end up happening is, all of a sudden I started to realize that when I would go to talk to these people and I would make them laugh and I would say little compliments to these people that were outside of my comfort zone, I started to realize that there was nothing to be afraid of. And these people were some of the most open people. Women in your company kill it. And one of the reasons why it's so important to have that diversity is because if you don't put a strong focus on creating that now, you can get to be too one-sided. And then when people come in to events like this, they might think, oh, you know, it's not really for me. This just looks like a thing with all young guys. And then it gets harder to recruit women. So that's why it's so important to create culture and diversity. And when you're approaching people of the opposite sex, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, if you're a guy and you're talking to a girl, bring up very quickly if you're taken that you're taken. Even say, hey, listen, I'm not hitting on you or anything, just so you know. I'm going to tell you something really funny that I used to do. I actually bought, just because this was how focused I was, I went to Walmart and I bought a wedding ring, a little cheap silver ring, and I put it on my finger just so that when I would approach people, when I would approach women, they wouldn't think that I was married. And that's what I used to do. That was my commitment. And it only backfired on me one time when I was actually hitting on a girl, and then she was like, well, what would your wife say? It only backfired on me once. But, you know, I told her, I said, no, I'm married to the game. But that's how serious I was about creating diversity. You don't have to be that serious, but I would challenge you to step up and start exposing people who are different than you, start exposing people of the opposite sex. And if you do that, and you combine that with everything else that I've shared, you will have a global business that is diverse. And if you combine that with being 10 times bolder, game over. So I appreciate you guys so much.
I got 2 questions for you, bro.
Go for it.
So 2 questions before he leaves the stage. The first one is, like, really shortly, can you picture like an image for them on how it was network marketing like 10 years ago?
Oh my God. 10 years ago, I mean, I started 20 years ago. I mean, how far back do you want to go? Just 10? Was MySpace around 10 years ago?
Picture the image, I mean, you know, that gives them awareness, you know?
Yes. So first of all, you have it very, very easy. You have it very easy. You can work and build your business on social media while you're on the bathroom toilet. If you ran out of friends and family back when I started, you had one option, and it was cold market prospect. There was no such thing as social media. There was no even YouTube. I started in 2001. So you guys have it so easy. What I used to do is, for my appointments, I could only do face-to-face presentations. When I first started, there wasn't any online videos. I was one of the first people to create online team websites, have videos on I was taking DVDs from the company, illegally ripping them and putting them on websites, you know, so that I could show people long-distance videos. I had to learn how to code. I needed to learn how to create websites. I taught myself all this during the time when I wasn't prospecting, following up, making phone calls, and sitting in coffee shops to do presentations. And I'll tell you a fun fact. I do not like coffee. I do not like the smell of coffee. I don't know what it is. It's just how I was born. It's very strong. But because everyone loves coffee shop meetings, and everyone just says, and it was easy to say, oh, I'll buy you a cup of coffee, and because it's cheap to say, oh yeah, let's just do coffee. You don't have to buy him lunch or anything. I used to do all my presentations in coffee shops. And then what would happen is I would go in for these appointments, and the minute I'd walk in, I'd go and sit down and be like, oh, God. And so what I would have to do is, after my appointments, I would have to take off my shirt on my drive home when I was done with my appointments, or if I wasn't going to be in a coffee shop, because I couldn't stand the smell of my own shirt. I had shirts in the back of my car, and I would change out because I would just be like, ugh. And then I'd put something else on. And for years, every single day, I showed up, got stood up at some appointments, and I would be in there all the time, hours a day, and nobody knew that I hated coffee for years. That would be like you having to do every presentation you do with a dump truck parked outside right in front of you.
Okay, got you. The second question before we leave is this. You gave us, and also did Daniel G, lots of lines, okay?
Yes.
Like sort of scripts.
Yes.
What do you suggest they should do? I mean, they should really learn them verbatim, like really words to words. Well, how did you do? Because they got a lot, you know?
Yes, yes.
What should they do? They should like, summarize everything and have their own and learn it like...
Yes. I'll give you a really great... now, here's the thing. I have spent so many years refining the words in these scripts. Like,
Right.
I have tested it so much that almost every word in the scripts that I share matters. So what I recommend that you do is you study the lines in the scripts that I share, go through them, and then add your own personality and your own energy to them. But practice over and over again. One guy I had on my team, he went through all these trainings that I did, and he still struggled. So what I did was I told him, I said, tell me what you're saying to other people. Read to me what you're saying. And he read one of the scripts that I gave him right back to me, and it sounded like he was reading a script. And I told him, I said, look, what I want you to do is go in front of a mirror, and I want you to say that script 20 times in a row, and just say it over and over and over again, and get it more and more natural in front of the mirror. And I said, and then call me back. And when he did, what he said was perfect, and it sounded natural, and it didn't sound robotic. And so what ended up happening with this guy is after he said it over and over and over again, then he went out and tried it, and then it was like boom, 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 boom. Everyone started getting in. And I told him, and I'll tell all of you, if there was a commercial that was shooting tomorrow, and they said, hey, listen, we're looking for someone, they look exactly like you. Wow, you have the perfect look that we've been looking for. We have this script, it's a couple paragraphs long, but if you can memorize this by tomorrow for our shoot, we'll pay you $100,000. How many people would have that script memorized?
Immaginate che ci fosse un annuncio.
Okay, so you can do it. You can do it. It's just a matter of how bad do you want to do it.
In your opinion, how much time does it take for a normal guy to, be fluent at it?
I mean, honestly, like a couple hours.
Okay.
I mean, my scripts are not super long. I have a lot of scripts for different things. I mean, that's all you have. Like, I want you to understand, that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do to be successful. Honestly, like, I just tell people, I'm like, look, I'm the George Lucas of fucking script writing. Just remember the stuff that I say, study it, and just do it, and just watch what happens.
Bro.
Yes, thank you.
Let's go.
Appreciate it. I'll
Ragazzi,
put that up on there.
Cesar Rodriguez.